So as you can see, I've got a problem. My brush is not spinning. Okay, I'm going to fix this. And I'm going to fix it by replacing the switch that is underneath this gray button. Okay, that's probably the most common culprit of this problem. Now there is an issue where you can actually cycle this button like 5 times to reset it, to reset the brush, but that isn't working for me. So I'm pretty certain that this switch underneath this button is bad. So that's what I'm going to be replacing. Okay, so to pull this off of here, I mean, first things first, just take your hose off of here. I just lay it down to the side here. That's what I would do, to simply lay it down. It's fine. It can actually come out of there, and if it does, it's easy to pop back in. But anyways, I just lay it on the side. Now back here, there are going to be 4 screws. You may need to move this sticker, don't know. But there's 4 screws here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, just so to see a little bit better. Okay, there's one right there. One right there. And then up higher, there's one up here. There's one over here. But yeah, there's 4 screws. Gonna need to pull those out. Now, a little unusual bit for this. It's called a Torx bit. Okay. We're gonna look at mine, just so you know exactly what you need. Let's get this baby zoomed in. You'll see it's a T15. T15. It's called a Torx bit. Okay? Looks like a star. Okay? Probably the most common size would be a 25, which is used on screws and stuff, which I really like, but because it gets a really good grip. But anyways, Torx bit, T15. That's what we're going to be using to get this out of here. Alright? So, I'm going to put my Torx bit in my screw gun. Obviously, you could just use a hand screwdriver. Take these 4 out of here. 1, 2. Okay, those 2 are out of there. 1, 2, and then up top here, we'll raise it up a little bit so you can see that. That was kind of off camera a little bit, but they're up there. They're just 1, 2 right next to each other. You'll see them. So you got those out of there. Set those somewhere safe. Clearly you don't want to lose your screws. And we're going to turn this around and pop the front off. Okay, so first things first, you need to take your canister off of here. It needs to be off because the switch plate here is kind of held on when it's in place. Okay, so there are 2 tabs here. I'll zoom in. Okay. One here and one here. Those are what's holding that piece of plastic on the front. Now, you need to push these tabs. Which way do you need to push the tabs? Okay, you need to push it in. You see that? You're going to push it in. Okay, whatever you want. I'm just using the back end of a drill bit. Whatever. You're going to push that in and pry your plastic out. There. I didn't get a very good foot of that, but yeah, I'm prying it out and I'm pushing with my thumb to push it out. Okay, same principle over here. Again, we're going to push this in. I'm going to use my fingers. There you go. Okay, now don't just go yanking this off of here. Okay, kind of hold your hand because there are springs in here that you can lose. Alright, so I'm going to very carefully. Good, I didn't lose any springs, but let me show you what's in here. Okay, that's how it needs to go back in there. Do you see how that spring's on there? That's how it goes back in here. There's one other, that's the culprit you're going to lose. If you're going to lose one, it's going to be that one, okay? I'm going to pull this red thing off of here, this red one, and you're going to see there's another spring. It just kind of sits on the plastic there, okay? There's a plastic nub. So that's how that will eventually go back together, okay? So we're going to set that again. We're going to set that aside for now. And here's what we're looking at. Move this up here even closer. So you've got two switches in here, right? This is how it sits on here, like this. So you got your power switch and you've got your brush switch. The brush switch is the one I want to replace. This one right here. Alright, so we're going to do that. Alright, so your brush switch. Let's just pull this out here. There's no fasteners or anything. You're just going to simply pull that out. Pull it out. It slides right out. Okay? And I see there's two connectors going to it. Okay? We're going to disconnect these. So I'm going to try really hard to keep this focused for you. Okay, but this is your switch, right? We need to pull these plastic pieces off of here. Okay? Now how do you do that? Notice how where I'm going to go to get this. Okay? This is flat here. You know, we're going to the back. We'll call it the back. Okay? Now back here on each one of these tabs, if you can see it, it's kind of hard to see, but right there, there's a tab right there. And there's a tab right there. Basically, I'm just going to push this down with my fingernail. Okay, I'm just going to push my fingernail into that. Pull. Okay, you're going to struggle with this if you don't do that. You're going to be like, why isn't this thing coming off here? Well, again, there's a little tab right there. You're just going to press your fingernail into it. Pull it. Boom. You're off. Okay? That's that. Your old one's off. I mean, at this point, we're just reverse. We're going to stick the new one on there. Okay? Now, if you remember, you might want to keep track of what's what. Frankly, this is a switch. I don't know that it matters which one is on which one, but I'm going to remember, okay, that my one with the black and the red on the back, you know, when you're looking at the back, okay, looking at the back, the black and the red are going to the one on the right, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to grab my new switch and put it on. Black and red go on the back on the right. Okay, so here we are, new one. Alright, what did we say? On the back, on the right, black and red. Okay, so I've got my black and red one. I'm going to stick it right back on there. Did you hear that click? That was that little nub, that little whatever, little piece going on. Okay, and then I'm going to stick my other one on there. Again, you heard it click. Alright, now watch, I'm going to slide this right back up in here. That's it. I mean, you're ready to start putting this back together. Now, at this point, if you choose to test it, you can. Just understand, these are live wires. Okay, when you plug this thing into the power, you've got live wires here. Alright, so I'm going to do that actually. I'm going to plug mine in. I may have already pushed the switch. I don't know, so it might turn on when I plug this in. Nope, I haven't pushed the switch. So, here's the thing. Right now, we're hoping that my brush is going to spin. Right? So we're going to see what happens. Here's the power button. Now pushing the power button, you also got to push down the brush button, which is right here. Okay, so my brush wasn't spinning, but reason, I simply had the upright vacuum clicked in the up position, which it's not supposed to spin, because when it's in the upright position, what are you doing? You're using the hose, so the brush doesn't spin. So I'm going to take this out of the upright position, you know, click it back, you know, click it back so it's not standing up clicked in the locked position. And I'm going to turn this on. So there you go. You can see it going on and off. That was me. I was turning the brush switch, the gray switch as it would be, on and off. So you can see the brush is moving now. Okay, and that's what you want. So we're placing that switch under the gray button, which is the brush switch, has affixed this. Now it's just a matter of putting it back together. Okay, so here you are. You've got your things back. I would recommend unplugging your vacuum. There's no need for it to be plugged in right now. Okay, you might just bump a switch and scare yourself, or you know, whatever. You don't need electricity flowing at this point. Just no point. Alright, so I'm going to take this. You notice this gray switch kind of falls. Well, you're going to have to kind of hold it up with your finger a little bit. Okay, and snap this back in. Again, get your pegs, these two clips, lined up with your holes. Okay, which are, where are those at? They're right here, kind of right below where these plastic covers for these connectors go. There's a hole, and there's a hole. So line those up. I would kind of rock it into place. I set the bottom on first. Just kind of rock it in where it goes. We're going to see if we can get this thing back on here. There. Simple, right? Clipped back in. Okay? So, let's put our screws back in. Obviously you don't want to strip anything out, right? So I've got my screw gun set all the way down to 1, so basically very minimal resistance, and it's gonna stop spinning. There's 1. Two. The other ones are up higher. I believe this is it. Up here. 3. And the other ones to the left. 4. I mean, your vacuum's back together, right? We're gonna put our hose back on, like so. I'm gonna put our canister on, like so. I'm gonna plug it back in, give it another test. Alright, red switch at this point should turn us on, right? It does. There you go, and my brush is moving. Turn the brush off, on, off, on. Power it off. There you go. And that is that.